Four-star quarterback Austin Novosad, who has been committed to Baylor throughout the entire process, is flipped by Dan Lanning and Will Stein in the Oregon Ducks. Massive flip after they lose out on Dante Moore earlier this week. What does this mean for the young Dripping Springs quarterback Austin Novosad, and what does this mean for the Oregon Ducks moving forward? All right, let's talk a little bit about Austin Novosad. So he's listed at 6'3", 185, as I mentioned, Dripping Springs quarterback here in Texas. I had the pleasure of getting to see him live at the Elite 11 experience here at the Dallas Regional, and I thought he was incredible. In my opinion, he outplayed Jackson Arnold, who has been considered kind of the actually highly rated quarterback, won the Elite 11 challenge overall, but on that day, he was better. On3 has him as QB 14. He is a 4-star. 24/7 Sports has him at QB 9 and a 4-star. ESPN has him as a 4-star QB 13. And Rivals has him at QB 8 as a 4-star. We here at Campus to Canton have him at QB 15. But if I'm being honest, he'd be in the top 10 if he wasn't getting tanked by one of our rankers. And I think it's a shame because I do think he is a very, very talented quarterback. He is what I would say more of a pure pocket passer. He's not going to bring you a ton of rushing upside, but don't let that fool you into thinking he's not mobile. He is. He can move around. And in fact, after having some discussions with him, he has openly said he prefers to buy time and find a wide receiver open down the field because those guys are the playmakers. And I like that attitude for him. And I think that he knows what he can do. He can put the ball anywhere on the field as well. He is incredibly efficient. He's a very accurate passer. He can layer throws. He can challenge all three levels of the field, and he has really good velocity. I believe we have him as the 5th best velocity over average in the class, just with pure arm strength and zip, throwing it on a line. And he can do that. He can make hash-to-hash throws. He's been doing it this year at Dripping Springs, where they actually moved up in competition and were playing 6A teams. Before that, they were a 5A school here in Texas. It's still pretty good competition. Then they took a step up and played in the 6A competition, playing the best of the best here in Texas, and they made it to the playoffs. And in fact, they made it to the semifinals before, unfortunately, losing out on a 4th down at the goal line, and they unfortunately got stopped. Had they scored that touchdown, they go on and move on to the further into the Texas playoffs. But unfortunately, that does not work out for them. Now, what does this mean, though, for him going to Oregon? As I mentioned, was going to Baylor, and I thought was probably going to be starting for Baylor fairly quickly. Like maybe Shaping gets one more year, and then we see Austin Novosad flipping to Oregon. I still think there's a chance we see exactly that. Obviously, Bo Nix has announced he's coming back, and he's going to be the starter. Bo Nix is a senior quarterback this year. Last year of eligibility, had an incredible season, obviously, last year for the Oregon Ducks. And had he not gotten injured, probably stays in the Heisman race and possibly at least takes them to the Pac-12 championship. They weren't going to go to the playoffs. I believe at that point they had already had at least one loss and probably were going to get another one at some point. But they ended up going to the playoffs behind him. That being said, it's just Ty Thompson now left on that roster. Jay Butterfield has entered the transfer portal, and now they bring in Austin Novosad. And this is not a shot at Ty Thompson, as we were very high on him when he came out. I think at this point, it's Austin Novosad's job to lose as a second quarterback if he can actually go out there and compete. I do know that he is enrolling early. He has said that has been the plan all along since, I believe, his sophomore, junior year. So he is almost done with school. He goes to the All-American Bowl here in a month, at least at the time of this recording of this video, and we'll see what he does there. But I think he's got a shot to have a very, very bright future here at Oregon. I mentioned really good pocket passer, has enough mobility to be dangerous and to buy time. Knows Will Stein as well. That was a big key in the flip here from Baylor to Oregon, Will Stein and his relationship. I'm excited for him. I won't lie. He's a kid I'm rooting for. I think he's a really good quarterback, and I think he's got a shot to lead the Pac-12 in passing here in just a couple seasons. Again, while he'll get a year to sit and learn this Will Stein offense behind Bo Nix, I think the future is bright for him in the next 2 years because I do believe he's got the talent that if he puts it all together can be a 3-year guy in college and move on to the NFL. Guys, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of these recruiting videos or anything college football related. Everybody have yourselves a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We will talk to you guys